If you've been following the race to Alaska, you might have seen news headlines about several boats having capsized and requiring rescue in the first leg of the race. The race to Alaska is a two-stage race. Stage number one, called the Proving Ground, is from Port Townsend, Washington to Victoria, BC. It's about 40 nautical miles. Stage two is the real race. It's about 650 nautical miles from Victoria, BC to Ketchikan, Alaska. The idea is that you need to complete stage one within a certain time frame to be allowed to continue on to stage two. Stage one is sometimes called the Proving Ground, and the Proving Ground it was.
And a couple of steps coming here. Swimmers in the water. Altitude. In the water. Altitude position are good. You have it. Roger. Right, so that's the door moving your device.
Those guys were in a Weta trimaran that capsized not far from Point Wilson, only a few miles into the race. And what was happening at this point was there was a very strong ebb current coming out of Puget Sound, about 5 knots of current, with about 25 knots of wind, swell and everything coming the other way, and it created some very large standing waves. Here's a great shot of Team Narwhal in these very waves in their Farrier 32-foot trimaran. Unfortunately, their mast came crashing down, and they did manage to get it back on board. Nobody was hurt, and thankfully they made it back to Port Townsend all safe and sound. And here's some great footage of Team Pestu in his F-24 Mark II trimaran reefing in these standing waves. You can see that it's a little bit lumpy here. Yeah, at least he's cleaning his deck off. He's doing this race solo, which is absolutely amazing in my mind. And once he got his reef tucked in, you can see that it was pretty lumpy, but definitely doable for a competent sailor like Eric. Amazingly, Eric was the second boat to make it back to Victoria after Dark Star on their Beaker 44. Eric's boat is literally 20 feet shorter than the Beaker 44. Eric beat F-31R trimarans, which is totally amazing and a testament to his sailing skill. I think it has something to do with the fact that he's French.
Oh, we gotta do this. That is loud.
The Kootenai paddle wheelers also had a bit of a lumpy ride. I guess everybody did. But you can see the conditions are manageable, just a bit lumpy if you're properly prepared. They're in a Flying Tiger 10, which is about a 33-foot monohull. So back to this Proving Ground thing. This is supposed to be an unassisted race, meaning that the teams are self-sufficient all the way from Victoria to Ketchikan. And so if you need assistance on the way from Port Townsend to Victoria, then you really shouldn't be going all the way to Ketchikan. Proving Ground is not part of your total time in the race to Alaska. You just have to get to Victoria by the deadline. The race started on Monday morning at 5 a.m. You have to be in Victoria by Tuesday at 5 p.m. Now, given the nasty forecast, the race organizers added another 24 hours to the deadline so that you had to be in Victoria by Wednesday at 5 p.m. The forecast was supposed to moderate on Wednesday, so there was actually absolutely no reason why the smaller boats needed to be out there on Monday or Tuesday. In fact, one of the best pieces of seamanship all Monday was Team Rite of Passage, a bunch of 16-year-olds that decided that the weather wasn't for them. They went back to Port Townsend to wait it out. To be completely fair, the conditions did look pretty calm in Port Townsend in the morning, but the nastiness was forecast, and it did show up exactly as forecast. Now, it's not exactly clear to me what the guys on the Weta that capsized and required rescue were wearing. They looked pretty cold to me. Personally, on my F-82R trimaran, I wear a dry suit with a neck gasket. It's totally waterproof. I can swim in this thing in the ocean, and I stay totally dry underneath. Everybody in a boat under 30 feet really should have been wearing a dry suit like this. So the real race starts tomorrow, high noon. It's going to be really exciting to watch. I think the boats to watch are going to be Team Malalo on their custom 10.6 meter trimaran, Team Pure and Wild on their Beaker 44 sailboat. They're going to be chased down probably by Turbodactyl on their Farrier F-31R, and Team Rough Duck on their F-9R. Team Pestu on his F-24 Mark II, don't count him out. He is going to be way up there, chomping at the bit, solo, which is absolutely bananas. Good luck, all competitors. Stay safe.